Scheduled live. Well, gentle fans of the channel, welcome to SciTrek. Today we will be debating the wisdom how Amazon GM kickstart the new Stargate franchise. What kind of production should they be starting? We have two contestants. We have Jamie and Harris. Jamie is somewhere too close to Wales, and Stoner Harris will be supporting the position of movies first, someplace from Southern California. Crazy Jamie will be supporting the stance of Stargate should start with a series. He'll be bold-fisted about this position. And then Harris, movie first lad. He will be movies first. He'll be challenging Jamie's opinions and ideas and philosophies about how the series should take precedence. I'm in the middle, so these two won't actually come to blows. And
my arm reaches across the Pacific, I think.
Do what?
I said my arm can reach across the Pacific. Watch out.
Yeah, but your smart ass can. Roll the introduction. Okay, so we will be debating what is best to kick off the franchise. We have 4 primary questions. Each contestant will answer that question. And then at the very end, we have a lightning round of other questions with mega nerd questions, an ultra nerd question, and a possible tiebreaker question in the end. So, Jamie, you look frustrated.
I'm nervous. I didn't know there was going to be a quiz.
Oh, nervous.
Okay, so let's get on with the show questions. Or Harris, do you need more prep time to back up your philosophy?
I've been backed up.
Opening statements.
Okay, so we will start with Jamie. Well, here's the question, and we'll hear from Jamie first, and then Harris will say something smart, maybe. In a recent poll,
stop!
What?
Opening statement. I wrote an opening statement.
You have an opening statement. Well, since there's now opening statements, let's hear from Jamie's opening statements before he gets closer to Wales. Jamie, don't you have an opening statement? Get to it, man.
Matthew, this is going very well. There, thank you. So each person, I'm in control now. So my opening statement: the sleeping giant of sci-fi is awakening. We've been talking about it for 2 years now, but what has changed for the giant while it's been asleep? So much time has gone by, and we don't know what has happened. A movie simply cannot tell us everything that we need to know. I'm being distracted by noises, so I'm going to think. So, where are the Jaffa now? How is the Jaffa Nation developing and growing? Where is the Lucian Alliance? Are they still being a complete pain in the ass? What about the evil Ewoks? Are we ever going to get to see them? There are so many things that we just don't know that a 2-hour movie can't give us and can't tell us. SG-1 took us from nothing to having our own fleet within 10 years. More time than that has gone by. We could have gone even further. What is happening on Earth? Has any of that technology that we've been giving to random people all over the universe actually leaked out into our own planet? Is the Stargate still a secret? There are so many things we need to know, and we just don't. A 2-hour movie will not scratch the surface, but a series, 10 hours more, now that could tell us everything we need to know and set up for a bright future of Stargate. A movie is a massive risk. A series is a surefire home run, and it's as simple as that.
You didn't say series is a home run about the Rings of Power, just saying. Harris, do you have an opening statement?
Do I? So, the sleeping giant of sci-fi has been asleep for a long time now. And would you rather wake it up with a slow crawl? Would you rather wake it up with a cup of coffee, hitting the ground running, and actually putting some momentum into a project that has been asleep for far too long, something that needs a little life brought into it? And is the best way to do that TV, which is we're out of the golden age of TV right now. That was 2013 through about 2021, 2022. We're at the tail end of that. Is TV really the right place that we want to be, or do we want something? I was in the shower this morning, as you think, but that best place to think. I was listening to Lord of the Rings and Stargate soundtrack. Why can't we have Stargate on Lord of the Rings scale wise? Not Rings of Power scale wise, but Lord of the Rings scale wise. Why not?
Man, all righty, good deal. I think the golden age of television ended somewhere in the 70s with the advent of cable, not in 2013, but that's just me. All right. So, are we ready to get with the questions? Jamie, can you put it off any longer?
No, go for it.
Okay. So again, the questions, we have 4 questions. They are for the overall debate. Amazon MGM should kick off the franchise, the new franchise, this new Stargate franchise, with a movie or a series. Which? So I'll start with Jamie first with the first question, and then I'll move to Harris. So here's the question for both of them. In a recent poll, 93% of SciTrek viewers voted for a series first. Shouldn't Amazon just do what the audience wants? Jamie, please.
Matthew went for a walk, but he's back now. No, Matthew, I'd already done it because you've gone for a walk. So Matthew is in the background doing the production. Stay sat down, idiot. Anyway, Amazon is a business, first and foremost. That's what they do. They started their business by delivering what the customer wants and delivering it quickly. And basically saying anything that you want, we will deliver to your door next day. They have basically destroyed the high street because they were so damn good at it. They know that the customer is always right, and that is the core of their philosophy. And when 93% of your customers say they want a product, you deliver it. That's what Amazon does. When almost none of the customers want a movie, you don't risk $100 million on something nobody wants. The cinema is, to say the least, a risky affair at the moment. So why would you risk it? It comes down to spending twice as much money on a 2-hour product that nobody wants, or spend half the money on 10 hours that your customers actually want. 93% is not a slight victory. It's an absolute landslide. And anybody that thinks a movie is a good idea is a complete moron. Now, he is a Texan, so I might get shot for that. But it's just true. 93%. You can't argue with that.
Well, Harris, that was kind of a strong statement for the series. He included the history of Amazon, the capitalistic brutality of its owner, Jeff Bezos. So, Harris, what would you have to say about a movie starting off the revival of Stargate? Bingo.
Sometimes we think about things through some rosy tinted glasses. And sometimes we think about the future of both Stargate and the franchise that we want to keep moving here. We can think about it in the rosy tint with we want. But what do we need? Are we children with want in a candy shop, or are we actually thinking about what's best for the franchise, what's best for the IP, what's best for Brad Wright in general, what's best for all of us as fans? If we do a series, it doesn't mean, or if we do a movie, it does not mean there will be no series coming. That's the best part about the movie. You do the movie, you have the set ready for the series. It does everything that you need to set up for a series, so you still get it one way or another. It's not a want versus need. Look at the need and look at what we want as a franchise as a whole, and then you can kind of put it into a movie just does more, I guess. At the end of the day, we can put it into the sense of, if you have a movie, you have everything that you have set up already for this TV series, and you have the ability to go gain a new audience that wasn't there before, that might be intrigued. One way or another, the series is going to happen. And if the movie does fail, because that's the big thing, if it fails, we might not get Stargate. BS. If they're putting Stargate together, they're going to get a movie and a series together one way or another. And if the movie, quote unquote, fails, hey, then we got MGM Plus and a cheaper TV series that's going to feel something more like the original series anyway. Is that a win-win or a lose-lose? I think it's a win-win either way. And if the movie does succeed, which I very much think it would, because all of us, every single person watching this, will put their ass in a seat for that movie. We'll probably bring our families. We'll probably bring our friends, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to still watch the series after the fact. But that movie will give them money. That gives them a know-how. That gives them what we want, what we know. It allows them, yes, the world building might be a little difficult with it, but within those 2 hours, you can actually put a little more simple something together and have it where you don't need to over-convolute something. You can just have it simple sometimes. You know, my favorite saying is keep it simple, stupid. So I'm saying keep it simple, stupid. Give us meat and bones. We don't need all the fat on the movie. Give us 2 hours of goodness, 2.5 hours of goodness. Hell, give me that Lord of the Rings 3 hours epic. If it's goodness, as long as there's not too much fat, give me the meat, give me the muscle, give me the bones. And that leads into the series.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Harris made some strong points. Let's see if we have any, if we could run a poll maybe in the chat to see how Harris did. Did he inspire you to greatness, or did he do a belly flop? And now we've got Matt. Take it away, Matt. No? Okay. All right.
No, Matt? Okay. Are we going to have 2 minutes and debate the questions?
Well, I thought we would at least have a rebuttal period. So, Jamie, this would be your. I mean, I know this wasn't discussed previously, but I think Jamie would deserve a rebuttal, and so would Harris deserve a rebuttal.
So I did do a poll. I did do a poll.
Oh, thank you. So Jamie,
throughout the entire thing, I can't solo myself. I don't know why, so I'm just going to appear like this. Whatever.
Okay.
Halfway through that, Jay was winning for 56%, and Harris was on like 30%. But then halfway through Harris's statement, it shot up. It's now evened out. Jay still won with 56%.
I consider that a lot.
Harris has got
Rightfully
44%. So it's quite an even split. But for the longest time, Harris, you were losing for a long time until you did. I think halfway through your speech, people obviously just connected with it and just like, yes, Harris, yes, Harris.
Well, takes a second sometimes. We get there.
With a 56% majority, as they would say in Florida, that's plainly a loss. Oh, did I say that out loud? Okay, so let's go to
that's all from Matt. Back to
oh my God, I don't know what's going on. So if we let's Jamie, let's have your rebuttal, please.
Harris, you on more than one occasion said need, and that we need. So are you seriously suggesting, for one, Amazon knows better than the customer? So you're telling me that Amazon knows what I need better than I do, for one. But for two, that we need a movie rather than a series. What are you basing that on?
Oh, I thought we were going 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
No. This is a period so we can argue.
All right. Yeah, well, I say that again. Sorry, I was getting the whole thing together mentally there. I was preparing my rebuttal.
You said, Matt, you can just keep Stormy in the middle during the rebuttal period.
Good.
Sorry, guys, we're trying to figure this out, but we've never done this sort of format before. So
it is fun.
Harry, I'll explain again, idiot. That
I needed explaining
at some point. You said repeatedly that we need the movie. For one, why do you think that Amazon knows what we need better than we do?
Oh, that's right. I got your thing. Amazon's freaking Amazon. They've had all of us under an algorithm for the past 2 decades before we knew what an algorithm was. They know what we want and what we need more than we ever do. And that's just based on the products we buy from them. That's to bring back, I guess, the capitalistic Bezos remarks and stuff like that from the beginning. He understands us. Whether we like it or not, he understands us. Rings of Power, big mishap. It happens. But Stargate is something that they have decided because of Rings of Power that it's something that they need to be delicate about. They've taken time to actually think about what's best for this, what's right. And what's right, if it was a series, we would have had a series 2 years ago. That's what they've been infighting about.
Own MGM 2 years ago.
It's been 2 years. They bought it in 2021, right?
No. I know it's towards the end of 21, but then it took like 9 months to go through.
It's the end of 23.
Just over a year.
Okay.
But anyway, that's irrelevant. So you say that that's what we need. 93% of the population say we want a series. So surely that's what we need.
Want versus need. That childlike rosy tinted glasses is really easy. You're in a candy store with your parents. What are you going to say you want versus what you need? If you need something, it might be the candied apple, like, okay, you got a nice apple, but you know what? You're going to go right to that toffee. You're going to go right to that like pie in the corner. It's what you want versus what you need. Have a little something in the middle. Because one way or another, that movie sets up the series. So it's not negating the series at all whatsoever. And it allows you to come in there with a little momentum, with a little chutzpah. And that's what we need.
Waking up. 30 seconds remaining.
What's better, a nice chocolate bar or an apple? What's
for
better?
You and for your health?
Candy apple. Candy apple. It's what you want, not what you need. You need the apple, but you want the candied apple.
No, I don't. I hate candied apple.
I don't
Give
like
me
candied
something
apple.
Snickers. Kind of commie pink statement.
Snickers for a candy apple, one way or another. There needs to be a little. It's not necessarily the best flavorful thing at the first, the thing you think of at first, but it's the thing.
Alrighty, there we go. Finally, that's over with.
Candy apple.
So somehow we went from Jeff Bezos's angry capitalism to candied apples in one round. So now we go on to question 2. Are you guys ready for question 2?
Oh, yes.
All right, so we're going to start with Harris this time. And here's the question for both of you. Cinema is still the most prestigious way to restart a franchise. Anything less shows Amazon lacks confidence in Stargate. Harris.
Can I just repeat the question and call it? I'm kidding. I'm joking. I don't actually need the question repeated. The question repeated would exactly be my answer, though. Cinema is prestigious at the moment. Where there is prestige TV, it's becoming a little more hit or miss, where at one point there was House of the Dragon there was Game of Thrones before that. And there were these other things. There were Vikings. There was Westworld, another HBO thing, etc. Now Marvel was going to do a bunch. Marvel and Disney and Lucasfilm in general were doing a bunch of prestige television with the MCU, with Star Wars and stuff like that. Within a couple years, that went to nothing. It went to god awfulness pretty quickly. So I think that prestige in cinema is still pretty freaking evident in front of all of us. There's a reason Barbenheimer did so well this year. That was prestigious. And those were 2 tentpole films for this studio. Stargate is a tentpole film and tentpole IP for Amazon Prime and MGM Studios. That's what we need. Is it a lack of confidence to not have it? Not necessarily. So I will pivot a little bit there and say it's not necessarily a lack of confidence that makes it where, oh, well, we're going to put a movie out in front of a series. But it shows their confidence if they do, right?
Okay. All right. So, Jamie, do you need me to restate the question or the comment?
No.
Okay.
No. It's old-fashioned, I think, to say that the cinema is still the prestigious thing that it was even 10 years ago, because it's not anymore. It's not the same as it was. I mean, it was already in decline before COVID, but since COVID, it has been decimated. cinema needs to completely re-find itself, like it did in the 90s, back when the video shop exploded and cinemas closed left, right, and center. It needs to figure out itself again. Now is not the time to take anything that you consider to be tentpole to the cinema. Also, the lines between cinema and TV have been being blurred for the last 10 years. It's not the same as it used to be. Movie stars appear in TV. I'm watching a brilliant show at the moment with Sylvester Stallone on Paramount that is as good a quality as anything we get at the cinema. I watch shows like Slow Horses. Even if you didn't like Rings of Power, you at least have to appreciate the quality. We get things like Foundation and so on, that these things are and would not look out of place on a big screen. Picard season 3 had a couple of episodes that they actually blew up in IMAX and showed them in cinemas because they were such good quality and so loved that people wanted to see them on that format. The cinema is not the thing it used to be. Ethan Hunt found it impossible to get people in the cinema to watch his movie, and Indiana Jones fell on his arse immediately. Barbie and Oppenheimer were big hits, but they weren't expected to be. Nobody really knows what is going to be a hit or a failure at the cinema at the moment. And that is why it's just way too big a risk to take something like Stargate there. But even if it wasn't a big risk, it's not necessary anymore. Streaming services want subscribers, and subscribers will follow something new and exciting. And that's why Stargate should do a series, because it will draw subscribers to MGM and Paramount and Amazon even. And that's why it's just not necessary and it's too big a risk.
Harris, do you have a rebuttal?
Oh, but of course.
Rebut away.
I think you proved your own point and my point by saying Picard was put in theaters. So was Ahsoka. Look how that turned out. It doesn't necessarily mean that this prestigious TV is going to be on the same level as a film, one way or another. Like the budget does not equal quality per se, and I think that's what you're kind of hinting at, and that's not the case. The creator just came out, and it's taken a little bit to make its money back, but on an $80 million budget, it created an epic that Stargate could follow in easily in that same vein. We're very much thinking about it through just a fan's eyes. You got to look at it through an executive's eyes, just for a little bit. The series, there is no way to make money on the series at the beginning if you're thinking about subscribers. Everyone that wants to be subscribed to MGM or Amazon Prime for Stargate is already subscribed.
No. Rebuttal.
Sure, go for it.
We are going through an economic crisis. We are going through a period where people have gone from having, on average, 4 subscription services on streamer services to 1.8. That generally 1 or 2 streamer services. We're going into a period where Amazon, Apple, Netflix are going to be having to scrap for the subscribers they've got, never mind growing. So 100% right now, the streaming services, way more than even 18 months ago, desperately need big content that's going to draw subscribers to them, or at very least keep the subscribers they've got. And a movie that then goes onto Amazon Prime ain't going to do that.
I think you forget that Amazon Prime is Amazon Prime, and they're going to have just as many subscribers, or very up next close to just as many subscribers as Netflix will always have, just because they're Amazon Prime and people are already paying for Amazon Prime itself. They get the service of Prime because of that. That 1 or 2 streaming services, it might be their one favorite, and that second one is always going to be Amazon Prime. Maybe not always, but 9 out of 10, it's going to be Amazon Prime. One way or another, from where? That's distracting, man.
Even the internet hates you right now, Harris.
They typed that while you were speaking, by the way. That's why I was like, why is he putting that up right now?
So let's call that Harris's 30-second rebuttal. Jamie, let's go with your rebuttal. 30 seconds, please.
Mine got interrupted. But
Yeah,
anyway.
because you're a moron. Because I had to correct you for being idiotic.
Something that was talking about what you were saying on screen. Yeah.
17 seconds, Jamie.
We're so professional.
Oh, shut
This
up,
event.
man. I'm kidding.
The basic point is that we are talking about business here, and we are talking about a business model, and we are talking. I'm sorry, but Amazon Prime isn't just about Amazon Prime; it's also about MGM Plus.
Well, thank you, Jamie. That was wonderful. That was absolutely wonderful.
MGM Plus.
Rebuttal got interrupted. It's next topic.
Yeah, desperately want subscribers. No, I'm sorry, you're just wrong. The business model screams series. Financially screams series, and it's just
How though?
Okay, so who's ready for the next question? Both of you ready for the next question? All right. So we will start with Jamie this time around. So this question is for both of you.
We
Oh, look.
I did a poll.
Let's get the results of the poll.
I did a poll and I said, does the TV show rather than movie show a lack of confidence? 9% of people said yes. 91% of people said no. So most people agree with Jay, I think.
yeah, okay.
All righty. So I have no confidence in their. So anyway, yeah. So let's go on to the next question. With so much time passing since SGU was canceled, only a series that can world build makes sense, doesn't it? Since SGU was already canceled, don't we have to go back into world building mode? Jamie, please start.
After nearly 15 years, and it probably will be 15 or even more by the time anything reaches our screens, too much time has gone by, and a universe that was too big to begin with. We have a franchise that was stretched over two galaxies and beyond with the Destiny. We have several, loose threads still that need to be resolved, like where is the Atlantis, the Destiny, etc. A 2-hour movie cannot scratch the surface of where the universe is now. A 2-hour movie cannot tell anything more than really, well, it's 2 episodes, isn't it? Basically, it's a very short story. The only way for me it would work is if it's a standalone movie, i.e., doesn't really tell us anything about what's going on in the universe. And that will not satisfy viewers. After this long a wait, we desperately want so many of these questions answered. And a 2-hour film just can't do it. A 2-hour film can tell us one story. It can give us a snippet. It can maybe tease us with a few things. But that's all they can do. Now, if it's going to be followed up by a season of something straight away, okay. But if the movie bombs, it won't be. At the end of the day, this could be all we end up getting. There are rumors bouncing around that Amazon actually aren't intending to do a season straight away, that they're intending to do a trilogy of movies, and then maybe it'll return to TV. So we're not going to get any of those questions answered. Will any fan accept that? Or will they end up losing their shit and just demanding the series that we should have got in the first place anyway? A series has the opportunity to answer the questions we desperately want answered. A film can't.
All right, Harris, let's get your response here.
You can world build in a 2-hour film more than you can. Just look at Lord of the Rings. Look at Lord of the Rings or Star Wars. Literally anything you can do in that, you're joking if you think a series can not world build like a movie can. That's an utter just joke, whether it's modern day, old day, or what. Like 2 hours is all you need to world build. If you're making something quality and doing it with intent and poise and actually know what you want to make, know the product, know the art that you are making, 2 hours is all you need. It's more than necessary. Plus, next glasses. Sorry, they want me to wear glasses. The- I
Harris,
lost my thought there.
or should we get a rebuttal? It sounds like we need a rebuttal. Is it rebuttal time?
No, I completely lost my train of thought. But
Well, while
go
you
ahead.
gather your train of thought, I'll go back to Jay for his rebuttal to your remarks so far before you got distracted with your eyeballs.
Again, Lord of the Rings got mentioned. All right. Now, yeah, okay. Lord of the Rings was a 3-hour movie. If you really think, though, the one book was 9 hours. So, yeah, okay. If we got 3-hour movies telling one specific story, remember, the Lord of the Rings was really just telling one story about them, throwing a ring into the volcano. And there's lots of stuff going on around it. Fair enough. But it was one story. I want more than that. I want more than just one story. I want an entire universe, and you just can't do that in 2 hours. And we're not going to get a 3-hour movie. The scale.
Star Wars. Are we in rebuttal phase or not? Can I yell back or no?
Star Wars. Tell Mark way more story on the TV series, by the way. But go on, Star Wars.
Okay, so rebuttal back to Harris for 30 seconds.
All right, now that the brain's back on track, I love you, buddy, but none of that made sense at all. Literally, Lord of the Rings it's 3 separate stories, 3 separate books within 3 separate movies. Each one it's not one book that's 9 hours long. It's not one movie that's 9 hours long. This isn't Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 put together. This is Lord of the Rings 1, 2, 3, Fellowship, Two Towers,
Throw ring in volcano.
All righty. Thank you for that rebuttal. Jamie, you get 30 seconds rebuttal and go.
What? Whoa, no. Hell no. What the hell was that? That was
I talked over most of it.
That was literally triple or quadruple the amount of time I got.
Yeah, but whose channel is it? So thank you, Stormy. Well done. The check is in the mail, sir. No, go on, Harris. Finish your thoughts, sir.
I think that proved my point. He's too scared to actually let me have any timing. Next topic.
And thank you, Jamie, for your rebuttal. That was wonderful. I love that. So we're down to the last debate topic, and then we go into the lightning round questions. We'll start with Harris this time.
We're going to invite Matthew in again, though.
Oh, do we have to invite Matthew in? Does he have another poll?
Matthew will have another poll. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, he remembered to use the thing.
Yes, I used the stinger this time. So I did a poll. 33 people voted in this poll, and it was quite evenly split for the first 30 seconds. I said, can a movie tie up SU just as well as a TV show? It was 50-50, pretty much bang on, and then it went to 70-30, but now it's settled finally. It's 48% say yes. So 48% of people think that the SGU movie can work just as well as a TV series, but 52% of people say no, so they win.
Yeah,
I was so confused for a second.
Well, there we go. So this is the fourth debate topic. Then we'll move into the lightning round questions. We will start with Harris on this one. The question for both of you is, if the movie bombs, if it just goes splat, kaput, nada, it kills the franchise, so it's too high of a risk financially. Is that true or false, Harris? Please expound.
One way or another, the film is being made to make a series. Whether it's a trilogy of films, a singular film, or whatever, the series is coming. That is pretty undoubted. If the movie bombs, which it shouldn't bomb too much if all of us are going to support it one way or another. If it bombs, that means it's not making its money back necessarily. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's truly bombing. If it's a $75 million movie, it might make $85-90 million, and that's a technical bomb because of marketing. Still making its budget back, technically. All that being said, if that happens, and I don't think any of us are going to let that happen. I don't think that we would let that happen. But if it were to happen, doesn't that just make MGM Plus happy? Because if Amazon Prime is so much more than just Amazon Prime, and MGM Plus is such a big part of Amazon Prime, that'd be the perfect low budget thing. It's exactly what they want. It's exactly what they've been asking for. They're not going to get that $10 million in episode budget. They might get a $3, $4, $5 million episode kind of budget. What is that? Is that Michael DeLuca? Isn't that the guy that runs MGM? Whoever the MGM guy is, he'd be excited. He'd be very excited because it puts it back into his ring. One way or another, they don't want Stargate to go away. And it's kind of a franchise that if they don't make something, that IP will go out into the ether. Someone has to come buy it. So one way or another, they're going to give us something. And that something is going to end up being a series. It just takes a second sometimes.
Okay. Jamie, your position, sir.
I'm just going to scrap everything I was going to say because that was just an drivel, sir, drivel. With respect. So what the basic argument is, let's do a movie because it doesn't matter if it bombs. We'll get the series we want anyway. So just don't take the risk. Don't spend $100 million and just give us the series that they were going to do anyway. That is basically your argument. And okay, let's just throw the movie away then. Let's just not bother with it because they want to do the series anyway. So great. We'll just do the series. The series makes way more sense financially. It makes way more sense because it's what the fans actually want. Cinema is in flux at the moment, and there is a massive risk with going to the cinema with anything at the moment. And at the end of the day, a franchise like Stargate is an unknown. They can do as much metadata, etc., as they like. It's an unknown. We don't know if people are going to go to the cinema to watch this or not, but they will watch it on Stargate and on Amazon Prime and MGM Plus. We know this because SG1 is in the top 10 for Amazon every week. SG1, people are already watching it, and they will watch a new series. We don't know if they will watch a movie, and that is just the simple truth of it. And like you just said, if it bombs, they'll do a series anyway. So just don't bother. Don't risk it. Do the series. I rest my case, and thank you, Harris, for making my point for me.
All right, Harris, do you have a 30-second rebuttal, sir?
I'll interrupt.
The only thing that they would be risking is more success for Stargate. That's it. That's the only thing they're risking.
I'm not sure you understand how risk works.
A series does not do. If you're going to go spend a bunch of money on a series and not focus on an actual story, a movie allows you to focus on a story and have something pivotal and succinct to build upon.
All righty, Harris. Thank you very much for your 30-second rebuttal. We will now go to Jay for his 30-second rebuttal. Go.
Harris's face just says everything. Look at that. Look at that face. He knows he's lost.
I know you don't allow me time to get in there. If I would have had my last topic, your whole point right then would have made a single lick of sense. But I was given 1/4 of the time in the third question. Keep going.
No. Look, tiny little violin there. Look, tiny.
I'm from Texas. I'm playing a fucking fiddle. Excuse me.
Celebrate. I thank you.
And thank you, Jamie, for your rebuttal. That was wonderful. So that was such good time management skills there, lads. Such good time management.
I love this.
And did Matt have some demographics and some metrics for us to look at?
Gives us a thumbs up.
Well, yes, I did. I asked, will a movie kill the franchise if it bombs? Do you agree with Harris or Jay? Everyone agreed with Jay. 32% of people agreed with Harris. 68% with Jay. So, sorry, Harris.
Man, I'm telling you, I love that hat. Matt, that hat ruled. That was just awesome. All right. So the real question is, we have Jay with his position. We also have Harris with his position. But the question is, why should you pay attention to either of these guys? I mean, what do we know? We're just a bunch of schmucks on Sunday morning yapping about fandom, right? Which is very, very dangerous. So this lightning round should help cement the relative positions and authority of our two participants. So we've got some fandom questions here. Questions about fandom. And which one of you is the Star Wars fan primarily? That would be Harris, correct?
Couldn't tell you.
And I think, Jay, you're mostly the Star Trek fan. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm the Trekkie. I like the good sci-fi. Yeah.
Okay, so I will ask you the other opposite questions. All questions include film, television, video games, books, and comics. For the questions, correct answer for any of the questions is 1 point. Bonus question is worth 2 points. The mega nerd questions are worth 3 points, and the ultra nerd question is 5 points. And should there be a tie, there will be a tiebreaker question.
Okay.
So we'll start with Jamie. Jamie, where was Han Solo born?
Don't give a shit.
Corellia.
So let's just reward that to Harris.
Where was James T. Kirk born?
No. So Harris, here's your question. Where was Will Riker born? What?
Earth.
You got to be more. You got to get down to the town, man.
I just gave you a planet and got the answer right last question. What are the rules here?
Well, I could have just said the Milky Way. Oh no, it's actually I could have just said a galaxy far away and won.
No, that's not. You got to at least give me a planet. I gave you a planet. I gave you the exact same answer I got last time, and it got me a point.
Policeman and say, "Where are you from?" and you say Earth, you're getting arrested.
Well, he's from Europe, the UK.
He's not. No.
Well done.
Do you want to take a stab at it there, Jamie?
I thought it was San Francisco. I have to admit, but
wrong on both counts. He was born in Valdez, Alaska. He often bragged about how he was from Alaska.
Okay.
All right, so that's nobody. That's a
I feel like I should get half a point.
So remember, this is for why you should trust the authority with any of these lads and voicing an opinion on anything. So Harris, back to you. Where was Leonard McCoy born?
I can't say Earth.
No.
Oh, the things I know this.
All this information is in the works of Star Trek. Where was Leonard
which I have never seen, by the way. Literally, the only Star Trek I have ever seen are the new 3 movies. But I'm gonna say McCoy. That's the doctor guy.
Yes, he is the doctor guy.
He has an English accent, doesn't he? So I'm gonna say no.
You're
He doesn't. Well, then,
oh my fucking god!
I've never seen Star Trek, the original anything. I've seen 3 movies.
Okay,
I'm gonna say Kansas for shits and giggles.
Kansas. That is so wrong.
No, but it was Bible Belt, wasn't he? Isn't he like
Atlanta? He was born in Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, he doesn't get that point. I was
going to say Georgia.
It was mentioned in the chat, so therefore I got to disqualify that.
Oh, I've turned the chat off. You've turned the chat off, right? You cheated.
Okay, so
well, I haven't. It hasn't helped me.
I knew it was sort of middle of America, but I wasn't sure. I wouldn't have gone Atlanta. To be fair.
He was definitely from the South. All right, Harris, you get the Star Trek bonus question. Where did McCoy attend medical school?
These are some serious questions, Stormy.
For someone who's never seen anything. Can I ask if it is a college that I would be familiar with in 21st century United States?
Yes.
Okay. Stanford.
Wrong.
Okay.
Would you like to take a stab at it there?
Atlanta University. I thought he went to Starfleet Academy. I thought he got his medical at Starfleet Academy.
University of Mississippi.
Of course he did.
He went to Ole Miss?
Yeah, of course he went to Ole Miss.
Why is he on a spaceship then? Like, what? I know people from Ole Miss. I went to a wedding in Ole Miss. And nobody from Ole Miss belongs on a spaceship. I love them though; they're fun. But
All right, Jamie, Star Wars question.
Why?
Where was Admiral Akbar born? What planet? You just need to give me the planet.
So obsessed with where people were born.
It gets better or worse depending upon you.
Tatooine. Everything happens on Tatooine on Star Wars.
Would
Come
you
on,
like?
Calla.
There we go. So Harris gets a point finally.
God.
now we get to the stuff that I actually know. I was still doing just as well as you in the stuff that you knew. Come on.
Okay, so Harris,
authority, baby.
what is Akbar's first name?
Admiral.
No.
Billy. Stephen. Marcus.
Not
I've read
Stephen.
it, and it's not one that I'm going to be able to pull out of my ass. What is it?
Guile, Gial, Guile Akbar.
I was just going to say Guile. I was just going to say, I'd tip my tongue that was.
Okay, so now we've gone into the mega nerd question. You've really got to prove your nerddom, your stripes on your shoulders. This is what's going to
I don't even know where I was.
divide the know-it-alls from the bullshitters. Where did Treebeard hold the Entmoot in the Two Towers?
What?
Where did
Isengard.
Treebeard hold the Entmoot that was in the Two Towers? Look at
Isengard.
No,
In his hand. Well, no, his tree. In his tree branch. He held it
Yep.
by a tree branch.
no,
Right outside of Isengard.
nope.
Sarah.
On the way to Isengard.
Milwaukee?
It was. Do you guys give up?
Well, he's literally walking towards Isengard.
But there was the Entmoot where he gathered all the trees.
Oh, okay. In the woods.
Yeah, in the forest
Yep,
surrounding
there's a-
Isengard.
Let's call that a 0 for both players. That was Dingle. Dingle.
Okay.
Dingle.
I should know
I read
that.
Lord of the Rings 30 years ago.
Okay, so this is a Stargate question. So this you guys should get.
Right.
Hopefully. Holy, but I've got my doubts, man. If you didn't get Dingle, I don't think you're good.
Where somebody was born, I'm going to fly to America and kill you.
Okay, so the first question goes to Jamie.
Okay.
How many doctorates did Daniel Jackson hold?
Oh, good question. How many doctorates?
Yes.
3.
3 is correct.
That was my answer too. Damn.
All right. So the next mega nerd question goes to Harris. What fields, other than archaeology, did Daniel Jackson hold a PhD? Other than archaeology, what other PhDs does he hold?
He had one in history, right? Or like a specific type of history?
I have to have your entire question, your entire answer. Excuse me.
I don't have degree titles off the top of my head. I moved to California. I didn't finish those. History.
No, they would be anthropology and philology. Anthropology and philology. Theology is the history of languages and the application and interrelationship of languages.
See,
Not
if I
just
would've-
not just language. So that would be 0. Okay, so Jamie, since you got one question of the mega nerd thread, you will get the ultra nerd question. And then if there's a tie, we'll go to the tiebreaker. What 2 colleges did Daniel Jackson attend? Jamie, what 2 colleges did Daniel Jackson attend?
Right, so I'm trying to remember where he went back to meet the woman. Harvard. Harvard and something.
By the way, from the chat room, Samantha Carter went to the United States Air Force Academy.
Yeah, I think she went to MIT as well, didn't she? But Harvard and somewhere else. Harvard and Stanford.
He went to of all the great schools in California, you missed the one he went to, which was UCLA, and then that's where he
Chicago, huh?
And then he did University of Chicago Oriental Institute.
Was it UCLA he went to when he met up with his ex? Then was it UCLA?
That's right.
Nah.
So far, let's see. Harris has got 1, 2, but then Jamie pulled out a mega nerd question, so he got 1, 2, 3.
The easiest of all the mega nerd questions.
So, do you want the tiebreaker question just for the glory of it?
Yeah, winner gets the tiebreaker. Then cool. Because we
okay. So this is the last question, and then we'll have some sort of decision here. What was the title of Daniel Jackson's lecture, where he disgraced himself and met Catherine Langford? What was the title of the lecture?
Oh, it was something to do with ancient alien and oh man.
Title of the lecture. Is there a lunch or something? For all the beans.
The pyramids were landing ships or something for aliens, but it was something like that.
Nope. Harris, do you have an answer?
That's impossible.
It wasn't that they were landing on the pyramids, because that was part of like the meat of the thing he was talking about. It was titled something about just us, like human beings being I guess we were helped alongside evolution, right? I don't know exactly what the title was, of course, but it was
the title was The Old Kingdom in the Fourth Dynasty. Old Kingdom in the Fourth Dynasty. That's what dragged out Catherine Langford from her roost. So let's tally up. Harris had 1.
I won.
2.
On the one question that should have been like the 1 point question.
I think the pointing system was rigged.
So Harris got 2 points.
The entire thing was.
Harris got 2 questions. Jamie got 1 mega nerd question. So Jamie wins this contest. 3 points.
I'm kidding.
3 points to 2. Congratulations, Jamie. And this hopefully will inform our audience who you should put your faith into concerning our idiotic opinions concerning what Amazon.
Can we do one of these rounds about actually like Hollywood and the way the workings actually happen around here?
No, because you'll win.
Well, that's the point. I want my authority.
So,
I'm going to flip the alligator over and stick my thumb up its ass.
So, what we usually do when we close about this whole show, and I guess we've been almost an hour.
Yeah, we'll bring Matt in and see if he's got anything else to.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm sure Matt has some metrics for us.
And then we can have a bit of a four-way for 5 minutes.
Oh wow!
I do not.
All right.
Have anything? No.
I have nothing. I was just swiping you away into wherever you needed to be.
Excellent.
Hi everyone.
Hey Matt.
Someone just said Jay is the Joe Biden of quizzes, and
I saw that. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
That ain't a compliment.
No, I don't think it is. Those questions were ridiculously difficult.
Yes, they were. That's why they were. That's why they were mega.
Well, except the first mega nerd question, that was easier than where Han Solo was born.
Jamie didn't get it.
Yeah, he did. That's the one he got.
I'd have loved to have seen something like this in the presidential
Harris,
debate.
You won the Corellia question.
Well, no, I'm saying the first mega nerd question was easier than the Corellia question.
Oh, the 2-tower Durndingle?
It was easier than all the where the people live questions.
All I'm saying, in the presidential debate, when we do this format in future, we'll try and be a bit slicker, for one. But for two, I can't believe I only called Harris an idiot like 4 times, and I didn't get called an idiot once. It's nothing like the presidential election I've ever seen. I mean,
I've never seen a presidential election debate that ends in a quiz about fucking Lord of the Rings.
Hey, we did cover Daniel Jackson in pretty good detail.
Yeah, we did.
So, Mr. Trump, where were the tree people?
Isengard. Oh, that's just lost you. The state of Mississippi. You idiot. Jay lost but officially won. Yes, I did.
I wasn't just reading that. A residential debate.
Yeah. I think I won the debate though. I won the important bit. But
you didn't let me answer one of the actual questions though.
I've been watching a lot of the Donald
You
Trump.
kept cutting Harris off so bad.
All the time. I was being respectful.
Well, you shouldn't have done this. Was a debate. You're supposed to like try and stand your corner and stuff. And
yeah, but I'm Lincoln Douglas style. I ain't all this new age BS. If you're gonna have a conversation, you got to have a conversation.
Just a second.
If we're debating and
no, I think I'm the one that needs to. What I say is more important, and what Harris thinks just isn't, because he lost the debate. And I'll unmute him now. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I was going to say, what did we all watch this week?
I have actually been loving Paramount Plus at the moment, and I've been watching Slow Horses on Apple, and watching the Tulsa King on Paramount. I've not watched a lot of sci-fi this week, but I tell you what, the Tulsa King is brilliant, really, really good. So I'm loving that. Ryan says Harris won. He did.
So did we, Dieter, and half the other people in the chat.
No,
not count.
Lost. And didn't even come up with a.
No, let's settle this. Let's settle this properly. Let's do a poll.
Yeah. How much did Jamie win by? That's the poll. Was it a lot?
Doing a poll on this channel is already rigged, but
is this channel rigged? I allow you here. I mean, it's like you were invited.
No one
knew. Precisely. Case in point.
I feel like
Jay, you're not gonna like this. Oh God, it is.
I think if you behave like a moron,
let's wait for the votes to come in and it settles. But you're not gonna like it, Jay.
All I'm saying is, guys, you have to vote. Do you actually want a movie first or a series first? That's all I'm saying. You're not voting for everything I've said in the last 90 seconds when I've been mean to Harris. Forget that. Forget I did that.
Of every single question and then the rebuttals?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, thanks, Sci-Fi Quest. That's awesome.
Thank you so much for the contributions, sir. And there was a couple of other contributions as well. Thank you so much, but we were having too much fun to read them. But I do have several. I work for the council. I actually have stuff in my home that I probably shouldn't. Don't tell anyone.
Right, him, not me.
If you guys haven't watched it, Lessons in Chemistry, caught up with that this week. Excellent with Brie Larson. Just excellent show. It's not sci-fi.
Really, really wants to watch that.
But it's really good. I also caught up with the morning show. Also not well, there's a rocket thing in there. It's really not sci-fi.
My wife is watching that right now. And I said I wanted to watch it.
A few months ago, I started in my Stargate re-binge. Went through the movie, SG-1, Atlantis, and finished up Universe, where they bundled everybody up into cocoons, except for poor Eli, which has got to schlep around the ship. And if you believe the comics, he reawakens 3 Atlanteans. It's hidden someplace on the ship. Then they ignore him, and they set out the repair robots, and they all scuttle all over. Anyway, I finished that. And there's another show, also not sci-fi, but Mark Ruffalo and Hugh Laurie, All the Light We Cannot See.
Is that out?
It's very serious.
Very serious.
A lot of laughs in that.
No.
I mean,
It's about the Nazis in France doing Nazi shit and hunting down a jewel that supposedly has mystical powers. But it is in glory. It reminds me of Inglourious Bastards. It's on that kind of raw level and excellent. Also, kind of reminds me a little bit of Man in the High Castle, another World War II, post World War II series. It's just do yourselves a favor. All the light we cannot see. Very, very good. Very, very good.
Yeah, I've seen. I started watching Firefly again this week, I have to admit, which was I did a video talking about Firefly. So that, even though I only watched it about a month ago, I've watched it again. Binged in 2 days. And I've started watching For All Mankind, which is actually excellent. Again, heavy, and you have to keep switched on. I was doing it while working, which wasn't a good idea. Because I then had to stop it and turn it off, and after work I had to watch it again because I missed so much. But you have to watch it properly. But yeah, it's excellent For All Mankind. I love Apple Plus. I think Apple Plus is great.
Doesn't the new season of For All Mankind start next week after next?
That's why I started watching it. And also, Apple Plus coming is that Monarch TV series, which is coming. I watched the trailer about, talked about that with Sci-Fi Quest yesterday. I can't wait.
We're doing a live about it tomorrow. Come say howdy.
It's going to be epic. I will pop over if I can, sir. But yeah, it's going to be epic. I think that series is going to be really good. Off the hook, as you might say, Harris, or something.
Off the hook,
something like that.
I don't
gnarly, bruh.
That's some blood. I used to get called blood a lot. Don't know why.
Also, Harris has some announcements for his channel. If we could, Harris, you want to pimp it out a little bit for us?
Let's do it. I'll talk about what I was watching later in a second or whatever. What?
Am I supposed to interrupt this as well?
I mean, sure.
Interrupt it with what Harris was watching.
Yeah. Okay.
It's true. So we're changing the M cubed, the third cube of the M's. From Movie Money, Mary Jane. As much as I love my greenery, it makes it a little harder for some people to click, and it might be a little out there for some folks. So we're making it a little more accessible. It's now Movies, Money, Music. So come on, we're going to be working on a new format of videos for both movies and music. We'll apply it to money whenever the time is right, of course. But we got a new format. It's going to be like 8 12-minute videos typically, and we're going to hopefully try to get them out in the next week or so, and they should be roughly daily. So come say howdy, do all that good stuff. We'll still be live streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Wednesdays for sure all the time. Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
So what did you see this week? What did you watch this week?
Whew! I saw 3 movies in theaters on Friday.
Damn.
And then I've been all over with TV as well. I saw The Marsh King's Daughter, which is Daisy Ridley from the new Star Wars movies, and Ben Mendelsohn, who he's in everything. And that was really good. I didn't really expect much from it. I didn't know what to expect from it, but it was really good. It was kind of like a white dude bastardizes Native American, kind of like thought process, living wise, and he's doing this in modern day, but living way out in the wilderness in Alaska kind of deal. Maybe not Alaska. It might have been like, I think it was Alaska, something like that. And it's really interesting. It's not like he's truly bastardizing. He's taking the techniques and applying them to how it fits him. He's raised a daughter, and the daughter has grown up living in the woods. It's all she's known. But he kidnapped her mother, and that's kind of a whole thing as the daughter figures that out, and they go into modern day. Really good. I wasn't expecting that much from it, but it was really good. I saw Priscilla, which I did not like the Elvis movie when it came out, so I was really hoping Priscilla was going to be good. And it was. It's shot beautifully. It's well acted, and it is god awful. It's I don't
really
slight spoilers.
Really
slight spoilers. I love Sofia Coppola too, but it was a film that felt like it was just antagonistic for no reason, particularly on Elvis. Like a good chunk of the story wasn't even about Priscilla. It was just Elvis. The slight spoilers. I tweeted about it. I said 20% of the movie is essentially Priscilla wanting to meet Elvis, liking Elvis, thinking about Elvis. 70% of the movie is Priscilla being pissed off Elvis won't sleep with her, even though she's 14 years old and shouldn't be in an adult relationship anyway, working her way up into adulthood. And then, okay, well, now he finally slept with me. And then 20% of the movie, I guess the last 10%, not 20, is the process of leaving Elvis. It's not, it feels very just vitriol for not like a particular reason either. And Lisa Marie Presley, I think that was her name. Yeah, Lisa Marie, the daughter. Before Priscilla came out, she was like, this should not be released in theaters. She was asking Sofia Coppola to completely scrap the movie. And I really don't see how Priscilla Presley herself said, this is the movie I want, after she was praising Elvis like, oh, this was such a great movie and all this last year. And then this movie completely does the exact opposite. It was weird. That being said, I went and saw Dream Scenario after that. I was invited to the Writers Guild Theater, so the WGA's theater, which was fun. That was a fun movie that didn't know exactly what it wanted to be. It was either going to be like a satirical, psychological thing, or like a really weird. I don't know. Nick Cage was great in it. Besides that, the movie was funky. Anyway, TV.
What was that?
Dream Scenario.
Yeah.
It was like, I really liked the first two acts, and then the third act just kind of that's when it stops being a satirical kind of fun look into things. It tries to be a little more fancy, and then it completely goes into like extra satire, and it doesn't really have a consistent tone per se.
Okay.
TV wise, Loki, Rick and Morty, Crapopolis, which is the fantasy version of Rick and Morty. I've been watching those, but I've also been on that Paramount Plus kick, Jamie. I watched 1883, and then I watched 1923. 1883 might be my favorite miniseries I've ever watched. I'm very excited for the season 2 of 1923, but 1923 was good. Little Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren was great. Let me see what else I got. Oh! Speaking of Paramount Plus tonight, Taylor Sheridan, the guy that does both of those shows and Tulsa King and all those others, he has Lawman Bass Reeves coming out tonight, which I'm excited to check out. The first African American lawman known in North America, I think. And besides that,
I'm not having that. I'm not having that. No.
Take that off the screen. We don't need that on there.
No. It's CNN.
Attack on Titan had its series finale yesterday. Phenomenal. Attack on Titan.
What is Attack on Titan run on? What's that from? What is it streaming?
It's on Hulu. I'm not sure if it's there in its entirety, but it's on Crunchyroll in its entirety too.
Okay.
And that's one of those things. Get one of those like month-long subscriptions, then unless you want to watch a bunch of anime, which is never a bad thing. Speaking of animated things, bringing it back to sci-fi, finishing up my long list of things I've been watching this week. The best show on TV right now is Scavenger's Reign. I don't think it's airing in the UK just yet. Find a VPN and find a way to watch it. It's the epitome of sci-fi. It's stripped back. It's bare. There's 3 or 4 or 5 kind of characters going around, but none of them really talk a whole bunch. It's not like non-talking, but they really focus on the world building and the actual like sci-fi aspect of the environment that they're having to deal with in this new planet that they crash landed on. Oh, it's amazing.
And it's anime? Is it anime?
It's not anime, but it's animated. It's kind of got an anime style to it, but it's not animated in the same style where it's like fast paced and things and lines moving like this. It's very slow and deliberate, but it has more of that anime look to it.
Gotcha. Hey, Matt, what did you watch this week? Doctor Who?
Walking Dead.
No, I've literally not watched anything at all. I still have to watch Loki. I'm going to watch that after this. I've been editing That's all I've been doing. I've just been doing editing.
You've actually been doing
for-
work,
for-
unlike
for my
Yours is
channel,
beautiful edit.
SciTrek.
Yeah, that video
yeah.
you've done, calling for Brad Wright, is actually beautifully edited. I know it took you about a week to do, which we don't do.
2 days.
Do a video like we
2
do like
days.
4 videos a week. So.
I had 2 days off work, so I took those 2 days to make a video. I've actually made another one as well, which is going up on Friday. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Yeah, there's the link to my channel if you want to go and subscribe.
Yeah,
go subscribe. So I've actually got a little bit of news. Yes, this is back during COVID. I started this YouTube channel called SciTrek. Excuse me, not SciTrek. Fuck, what am I talking about? SciWorks. SciWorks, where I was bored out of my mind, and I do crazy little experiments you could do in your kitchen sink science. But I also started a channel just because I loved it, was revitalizing a lot of old radio shows, sci-fi and horror radio shows. And I'll put a link in the chat box here for it. It's Professor Cringe hosts Night House. And right now I've got original episodes of Dracula, or not Dracula, excuse me, Dracula's next. I've got Frankenstein, and I've got the one I've just posted was The Lost Tomb. And I've also got the Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde goes for 10 hours. 10 hours. Frankenstein's 2.5 hours. And The Lost Tomb is a quick one, only 1 hour and 5 minutes. So, yes, I'm Professor Cringe. I'm no longer, I may do, SciWorks in the future, but that, doing the experiments and figuring those out and getting them right and all the shots it takes, it's just a lot of work. And, we're not in COVID time now, and I don't have a lot of time to burn, but I always love these old sci-fi and horror radio shows. And the writing is still amazing. The acting is still amazing in these old shows. Some of them are approaching 100 years old, and they're still amazing. So if you would, just go subscribe to that, and I'd be most appreciative. Please, love of God, subscribe.
Modern day RCA.
That's right.
Genuinely, one of my favorite videos ever is Stormy playing with hydrogen, because I spent the whole video going, he's going to explode.
It's going to explode.
And he doesn't explode, but the tension is fascinating.
You didn't like the one where I showed all the organisms living in the swamp water with a laser?
Yeah, that was fine, but the hydrogen one was better because
everybody loved the hydrogen one.
Yeah. But yes, this is going to sound wrong, right? But let me finish. The video that you've been putting on with the radio stuff is excellent for going to sleep to. But not because it's boring. It's just because it's like because you want to have something in the background and you're listening to it. And then so I've set it up, and then after the next night I've had to go back and find out where I was with it so I can listen to it again. But I loved it for that. I think they're really good.
Thank you.
So I've been listening to a couple. So and I've shared it on the community page this afternoon, and I shared it on our Facebook group. So guys, go check it out and have a listen. Matt's video, Brad, was shared everywhere as well. Go check it out. Basically,
everybody loved that. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Go show love to everyone's channel except for Harris. If you are subscribed to Harris, please unsubscribe. And basically block him, I think, would be for the best, depending on what Matt says now. Matt, how's the poll going?
Oh, right. Let's have a look, see where we're at. It was 50-50 for like forever. And then everyone in the comments was like, oh, Jay's creating accounts. Now it's like 54% to Jay. But
okay, everyone subscribed to Harris, then I feel yeah.
When we first did it, it literally just went Harris, and then Jay had like 30%.
No, I think we can. Yeah, Harris was not robbed. He wasn't robbed. He didn't have Harris. Honestly, now we've moved on from the thing. What would you honestly want to see? A series or a movie first?
Oh, a movie, like 1,000%. I think if you're actually thinking about it, like as an executive, as someone who wants to see the franchise succeed, a movie makes way more sense. I like literally. I love everything you said, and the series makes sense, but it doesn't make sense more so than a movie to bring new audiences. Everybody, oh god.
Oh dear Lord, who said that? Ryan. Shit, man, that was good. I love that. Vote Ryan. Ryan's got a future in political writing. He really does.
I win, I'm afraid. But
Did you know?
yeah, a movie can come later. A series just makes more sense to me, and it's less.
I don't think it can though. Look at Ahsoka and all the Mandalorian stuff. Are you excited for the Heir to the Empire movie now?
No, don't care.
You have all of the stuff that the Mandalorian and Ahsoka and Book of Boba Fett. All of this is supposed to lead to an in-game level movie, and that's like Thrawn and all that, and that's what happens whenever I guess it just gets. The hard part with the series is that it's years of stuff. That's years of people to come up with different ideas. That's years of people to come up with a movie. You have a solidified something that you're working with, and that asks questions, and those questions can be answered in that series. Then that gives it a succinct something to follow instead of if we don't have a movie, your first 4 episodes essentially have to be about, all right, so where are we? What's going on? What are we going to get going on now? It makes it much, much harder where a movie streamlines it. It just streamlines it.
The one question I threw in. Oh, sorry. One second. The one question I threw in was about confidence, and because I knew I was weak on that, I didn't have an answer for that. And at the end of the day, if Amazon and MGM do a movie, that shows they have massive confidence in the franchise.
Way more confidence.
Exciting. That would be.
Talking about the confidence issue, we've discussed this before. I mean, Stargate's one of the great franchises. One movie, right? 3, well, if you count, some of the other, there's some offshoot movies. There was 3 series. There's 1 web series, oodles of books and comic books and other, it stayed around. I mean, here we are talking about it decades later, and there we go. Yeah. And wasn't there a trading card game for Stargate at one point in time?
Yep.
Wasn't there?
That came out a couple of years ago.
But from a fan, me as a fan, I just wish they'd make something. I'm dying for anything. Whether it's a movie, whether it's a series, I'll love anything. But I'd rather have a series because it's more screen time I get.
My biggest thought after that, and I think Timekeepers is really solidifying the movie to me, is if they actually a series is safe. Timekeepers was safe. That's what I'm worried about. I do not want another effing Timekeepers. That's the most annoying video game I've played in possibly the last 10 years. Like I don't know. It's just that's not how it should. That's not how a game should be designed, and that's not how we as a fandom should be hyped back up to go into a world that's been gone for so long. Literally, that entire opening animation with the X-302s over Antarctica, that would have been a better game. Give me an hour and a half game about that, and I would have rather played that than the Timekeeper game.
I'm surprised, because I saw your review and you seem to enjoy it. If
I smoke a joint before something, playing it, I'm gonna make sure I have a little bit of fun. But like, it was the most frustrating. It was. You can see in the review, I'm frustrated as hell the entire time. There's not a second that I'm not frustrated in that entire game.
Where you die and you just go, damn it! It made me laugh.
That's what I'm worried about with the series is like, are they going to do, it's a good game if you play it properly. There is no playing that property. That properly should have been on a phone game, not someone trying to put it on Steam and sell you it for $25, $30. That game is not worth $25, $30. That game's not worth $2. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. Something. And that's just what I'm worried about with the series. I feel like they end up doing it because it's safer, and then the safer it becomes, the more guardrails you get up against it, the less risk you take, the more. Just for another fun Star Wars reference, there are no guardrails anywhere in the Death Star. There are no guardrails anywhere in those big old engine rooms. It keeps a little excitement going. It lets people fall off the side and lets you jump back up with your lightsabers and all that. Obviously, we're not doing that, but it's a good analogy in the sense like we don't want those guardrails up. We want something. We want these creators to take risk with the property that we love, and we want to see it move forward in creative ways, not safe, boring ways that we've seen 18 years worth of stuff before. All right.
Okay. What do we want to debate next? Because I really enjoyed this format. We'll get a bit better at doing it.
It was fun.
Can't get worse.
Whatever you debate, can we call it a mass debate?
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we're doing it en masse, and yeah. So I mean, I suggested Star Trek versus Star Wars, which is better, basically, because I argued with my wife once, and she threatened to throw me out the house.
That's difficult because Star Wars technically isn't sci-fi. So one way or another, the sci-fi oriented aspect of things is going to put it.
That can be part of the argument you can make. I would argue that yes, okay, it's sci-fi fantasy, but it's still sci-fi. And I mean, but I think there are loads of arguments you can make. It's just yeah, what do you fancy arguing? Because this is a fun format to do it. Stormy, I think something with Lord of the Rings might be fun for you to try to argue. We can argue.
Why don't you have an argument of yes or no? Just that, yes or no, and you just got to argue for yes.
Right.
Let's do it.
You've got to argue for yes. Try and be creative with it. You've got to argue for no.
Whatever the question is, no's always your answer. Is that what you're saying?
No. The debate is yes or no, and that's it. And you just got to debate yes or no.
I kind of like that idea. I kind of like it.
But you've got to be creative with it, and you've got to somehow get people to vote yes or no.
Was Jabba the Hutt sexy? Yes.
I can take maybe. Butt plugs not allowed, for the love of God, no.
Hey, I didn't say it.
Yeah, but he put the £2 on it, so I had to.
He put two. Never mind. I was gonna make it. Never mind.
Well, what else can we discuss if I put £1 on it?
Exactly, yeah. Just and anything you want to say out loud. If you do it as a super chat, I have no damn choice. So I should open the floodgates. But no, I don't know about you guys, but I've loved doing it this way. I think it's been really fun. We'll get better at doing all the flipping around and doing the production side of things, and remembering that we do an opening statement, Stormy.
Okay, fine.
And don't forget my polls.
And the polls.
But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun, and I really, really loved it. And Harris, I'm sorry, you're not an idiot. You're a very bright young man. Well,
depends on the day or the minute of the day.
And you almost had me once or twice.
And then I was cut off.
You know, I just enjoyed writing off these nerd questions. That was the highlight for me.
We know you did, and you enjoyed us staring at the screen like,
what the fuck is he asking? What?
Where's it going from? The South.
What's the security number? What?
You weren't impressed by my Earth comment multiple times, but I tried.
Yeah.
And ironically, most of the Daniel Jackson's comments came from the novelization of Stargate.
Did you purposely dress as a referee today, Jay?
Yes, I did. The referees don't dress like this. What are you on about?
You look like a referee.
Like stripes? I don't want black. Ryan Lehman. Where was I born? There you go. Secular Monkey, Ewoks versus Furlings. They're the same thing. So that would just be one big fluffy battle.
The Furlings left the Milky Way and moved to a galaxy far, far away, and just slowly devolved over time.
Okay, so here's a question I couldn't get answered. Didn't make it into the questions, but how many galaxies did Destiny go through during the show?
32.
That we witnessed?
We saw it in the sequence where Rush says, we've gone way, right in the first episode. Have we gone into another? Is that the Milky Way? And no, and then it's boop, 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 and it's 32.
It is 32.
38. 38th, actually, sorry, 38.
I couldn't find a definitive answer, and I said, so
There is a proper answer. You can count them as the
Okay.
cartoon, and then you see roughly where they are.
But they then went through 2 others of 40.
And the one where they left Eli was heading to the 41st galaxy. Is that correct?
I think
That
so,
would
yeah.
be right. And yeah, I forgot they went through 2 more. Yeah. So actually, no, it's 30. No, it isn't. Is it? It's 40 will be the next one because they were in the 38th galaxy and then they travelled to the 39th, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then they're on
And
their
then they
way
went to 40. And they
Way
went to
on the way to
40.
Okay.
We actually see 3 galaxies in SGU, do we?
I don't know.
But we only saw
see,
2. It's been a
did
while.
they travel? I don't know. It's either 40 or 39. But 38 is the hops between
Or
Earth
another
and
number.
where they boarded Destiny.
It should be 42. The answer
It
should
should.
be 42.
Now, Destiny
always-
was in the Milky Way when they first boarded. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's launched from Earth.
Right.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
it
it
had,
was launched from Earth 50 million years ago, yeah.
it had to be in
50
that
million years to
sphere
go through.
of gates that were within travel, that were travelable, that were connectable to Destiny. So I'm guessing, yeah, it had to be Milky Way, right?
But that's where the ancients were based at the time. That was
Okay.
when they settled on Earth first. No, second. Sorry, they didn't. They settled on Earth second. They landed on one planet. I forget the name of it, and then they traveled to Earth, and that's where they sort of established, and then they spread from
Akara.
here. Akara, thank you. And then they traveled to Pegasus, and then they came back.
And they abandoned Destiny because Ascension.
They didn't need it. They could just ascension over there and have a look instead.
And then it puttered around until Rush found it.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know the last ancient that like everybody else had ascended around him, and he was just like, "How the hell do I do this?" And just ends up like meditating for another decade or something, and then finally ascends or something. Who was the last one that was just kind of turning the lights on and off for a while? You know?
Who knows?
I mean, they probably used the ascending machine that was for the people that couldn't do it, didn't they? They did the one
That's
that
right.
McKay ended up
I'm a
accidentally
superhero, yeah.
using.
That was a good episode. That was.
I
want that machine.
Yeah. The ancients just left everything on in that city. It's just ridiculous. Health and safety nightmare. Right,
One
guys.
thing I never understood, though. Sorry, I'll let us go in a minute. They had the Ascendo machine. I'm going to call it the Ascendo machine in Atlantis, and that basically gave everyone the powers to ascend, right? Because it gave them that knowledge and all of this stuff, right? When O'Neill stuck his head in that machine and got all of the knowledge of the ancients, why did he not ascend?
Oh, God, that's a good question.
Because
I should have asked that today.
He has all the knowledge of the ancients, therefore he knows about ascension. So why did he not ascend?
that is a good point because it is a spiritual journey as well as knowledgeable. The Ascendo machine actually did genetically change.
It's a physical change, yeah.
Yeah, it's a physical change as well, wasn't it? So I mean, that's maybe the difference. They were trying to, but it didn't really, did it? So
maybe his front just wasn't up to it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But also, I suppose the thing with what happened to Jack was that it was so rapid, maybe, and he just wasn't. So he didn't have time.
Not any more rapid than McKay.
But McKay had physical changes as well. O'Neill just had the information dumped in his brain, didn't
he? But he was changing. He was physically changing. He was changing because he was then started talking.
His brain started to change, didn't it? And I mean, the mechanics of it was changing. So yeah, that's a very good point. Why didn't he ascend? Dun dun dun! Because it would have been the end of the show. Maybe that's what in a way.
It wouldn't, because Daniel ascended twice and he came back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think Jack would get kicked out of the Ascended Being Club quicker than Daniel did.
Yeah, I think so. There was on the Dial the Gate video last week. There was a bit where Michael Shanks was on, and he was talking about how there was a joke Brad Wright had passed him a script, and it was in the halfway through the first season when Daniel dies. Then they go to the funeral, But Brad only gave him the pages from the actual funeral, but didn't tell him anything else. So Michael Shanks is sat there the whole flight going, I'm going to die. It's my first proper job. This is shit. And I'm just like, yeah, that was so prophetic, though, because then he goes on to die several times. And he wasn't bothered. But I just thought that was such a good joke to play on him because it was so prophetic about how his character was going to go in the end. But anyway.
He was worried about two things: how he was going to go and if he was going to get paid.
Yep. Death and taxes, baby. Death and taxes.
Right, death and taxes.
Right.
Yeah. All right, then, guys. Well, thank you so much. Like I say, really, really enjoyed that. It's something we're going to do again, I think, when we have a topic that we want to argue. Hopefully, it might have, given Amazon a few ideas. You never know. There has been a little bit of a update from the last week, but I'll leave it until next week though, because I just want to find out a little bit more information about what's going on. But basically, there's been more conversations, but I think basically everything at Amazon at the moment is focused on the strikes and getting this cancelled, which I would be very surprised if it didn't get resolved in the next 48 hours or so. So Harris might be able to actually get a job soon.
That'd be nice. I would love that. Come on, y'all. Please. Please. Also forgot to mention Gen V earlier.
Harris could play the new, the younger Daniel Jackson.
He could. Please.
That would be the only role I would take if it weren't going to be Eris Bach. Probably the third. Sam Jones is old. I wouldn't count it.
I'm not recasting anybody. So calm down. You can be Daniel Jackson's son.
Fine. I'll calm down.
No recasting.
Does that make him father's son as well?
No recast. I'll be Daniel Jackson Jr. or Junior.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Not the one that
Daniel Jackson Jr.
I was thinking Sam Jones.
If Daniel Jackson had a son, Daniel Jackson had a son in the amount of time between when it left our screens and now, the kid would be like 18. So for him to have a son and you play that son, that just doesn't work.
How about if Harris was like a Jedi Jaffa? Would that work?
I'll take that any day. Eris Bach, Jaffa.
It's like Jaffa. 3.
I'm going to free the force up in this bitch.
Oh, dear. Okay.
The Ewoks bring me back to their original galaxy.
Yeah. Arnold, yeah. I believe it's already filmed, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Michael Keaton said it's the most fun he's had on a film set since Birdman, which was the most fun he had on a film set since Beetlejuice. So
cool. I can't wait for it. It's going to be cool. But yeah, and Wednesday Addams, isn't it? Isn't she? Not the real Wednesday Addams. I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
So let's see if she's any good. But yeah, I watched Beetlejuice on Monday at the cinema. Loved it. The original, I should say. And it still holds up. It's still such a great show. Brilliant movie. And Michael Keaton is just mad in it. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. We will be back next week with
one more thing. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I didn't say that either.
I was waiting for it.
I've already strung this out for half an hour. Jay's got to pee by this time.
No, I'm good.
No, you're on. All that beer, you still?
I need to pee. Thanks, guys. Say bye-bye, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Y'all.
Stretch it out a little bit because I can't find the ending sequence bit.
Thank you.
Adios.